keep those comments coming. Now, there is an Ebola alert from Democratic Republic of Congo. The Ghana Health Service is therefore asking people to be cautious and revive all known preventive measures to avert any possible outbreak in Ghana. Nigeria has already stepped up screening processes at the airports and other entry points. Ghana luckily didn't record any Ebola case in 2014 when other West African states were devastated by the deadly virus. Now, my question is, will we be second time lucky? I hope so, but I also want to know, tell us what you know about the scary disease.
Ebola is actually a disease that spreads easily when we come into contact with someone who actually has the disease, or even with the sweat of the person getting into your pores. You are definitely going to get that kind of disease, which is very deadly.
I know it's a dangerous disease, and then it's fat killing, and then it's very dangerous.
It's a communicable disease, and then if it suffers in an area and then care is not taken, it can infect everybody around, and then it will cause problem.
Avoiding people going to close contact with people, avoiding handshake.
All right, so let's get on to Facebook now, and Maps and I will be reading some of the comments that we have. I'll start. Ikuya Santua says Ebola is very deadly and wipes out humans like the foul disease of yesteryears. Seriously, if this disease gets to Ghana, Accra, people will die like fowls with the onset of the rain in the field that surrounds Accra. Grace Tracy says, hey, this Ebola again? Me, I dey fear. And Amankwa Desmond says, calm down, Ebola. Calm down. I'm sure that's what you want to say. Ebola is deadly, but very easy to prevent. Been working in Freetown for the past 4 years. It affects poor hygienic environments over crowded areas where people live, and people who don't believe in the existence of the disease to take preventive measures. The sad aspect of it is victims will know after weeks of being infected.
Now let's go to Barry Jeremiah, who says Ebola is considered a zoonotic virus. There is currently no vaccines available for Ebola. The time interval from infection with Ebola to the onset of symptoms is 2 to 21 days. Fever, headache, muscle aches, weakness, diarrhea, vomiting, stomach pain, and lack of appetite are some of the symptoms of Ebola. So it looks like Barry Jeremiah knows a bit about.
Well, he continues actually.
Yeah. And he says Ebola is transmitted through direct contact with broken skin and infected blood, secretions, and other body fluids of infected people. In direct contact with environments contaminated with such fluids. Ebola transmission can be prevented by isolating Ebola patients from contact with unprotected persons. And I'm going to take Bra Kwame, who says Ebola is a deadly disease that killed people within seconds, and it spreads rapidly. It is also caused by a virus. We're hoping for Ebola-free Ghana. And then he continues to say
Ebola Ebola yadie bonipa. I mean, it's a really deadly disease. That's what he means by that.
Now, there has been a video circulating on social media about a botched kidnapping attempt. The video does not actually show the woman trying to snatch the boy who isn't her son, but you could see her crying in a car as people demanded that she stepped out to answer questions on the alleged kidnapping. Now, the father reportedly showed up just in time as the woman was leaving with the boy who had closed from school. So I've been asking you to share with me how schools can offer better protection for our children.
I know there are some schools, they give cards to the parents. You know, when you are coming to pick your child, you bring the card along, and then when you show the card, they give the child to you. So when you come without a card, that means you are not the parent or the mother or the father of the child. So I think there are a whole lot of things going on in the country now. So if they are able to put on some of these measures, I think it will help keep some of these situations. And
the PTAs should do their very best to make sure that all the public schools have fence wall and that there are gates at the entrance, where there will be a security personnel or there will be someone visiting. They should not be sacked to go home when they come for school for maybe school fees or bookman.
The school should beef up the security of the child so that in and out, the one who picks the child in and out should be known by the child itself that will know this is my, if my mother doesn't come to pick me, it is this woman or this man will definitely come and pick me.
They have to just tighten it up, because in Ghana now our security is somehow porous, so it has to be looked at.
All right, so let's get on to Facebook and bring you some of our comments. James Abusanga says the schools must intensify the security systems by 1, developing security tags for parents to use in picking up the awards. 2, by taking advantage of modern ICT systems. GES should review the criteria in awarding accreditations to schools. And Larry Abdul says get a school bus and then known and registered guardians. Okay, and then known and registered guardians should pick them up. No child should be allowed to move out of the school alone. And Baya Jeremiah says those who constantly go pick the children from schools should be issued with tags with their photos on it. And also someone should be in charge of who picks who at what time in the schools. Osikeni Brakwame says, in fact, it's a big challenge to deal with. For me, I think each school authority must have parents' numbers to verify anytime someone is coming for their students aside from the parents, period. All right.
All right, and then let's go to Valanyo Akatia, who says, who quotes from the Bible, Jeremiah 10:23, says, "O Lord, I know that the way of man is not in himself. It is not in the man that walketh to direct his steps. Only Jah who can offer us protection." And TJ says, schools should issue special cards to all parents with their name of children on it. Without the card, you can't pick your child. And Evidence Comrade says parents ought to get someone to always pick up their children from school if they can't do it, and the school authority has to also step up their security. And Abraham Smith says they should build walls around the school to prevent children from going out during school hours.
All right, so even though Eben says they should build walls around the school to prevent children from going out, the school we're talking about has a wall around it and has a gate. I'm not sure if we have to really reinvent the wheel, because there are schools where before you pick up a child, if you're not the parent, you need permission from the parent. So the parent, in fact, typically, the school wouldn't even tolerate you if you're a stranger. So it is the parent who has to call, the parent or the guardian, who has to call the school authorities and say, today I'm unable to pick up the child. So and so person is coming to pick up the child. But and that's what's supposed to happen.
How can we verify that the person calling is the parent? That's another thing.
So when the person gets there, says, introduces themselves, I am this, and the teacher can actually call back the parent and say, this person is here, this, that. That should be it, really.
And also, I think we need to educate the children that if this is not your uncle, if this is not your uncle, if you don't know this person, don't go. You understand?
Exactly.
Even if mommy, unless you talk to mommy and be like, okay, mommy, must I go with this person? You understand? Yeah.
Right.
So now it's a Throwback Thursday, and on Sunday it's Mother's Day. So we thought we should throw it back Mother's Day style. Although we like to think of our moms as angels, they are human and can sometimes lose their tempers. Now I want to know, what is that one thing you did that resulted in a punishment you will never forget?
I was one time at Game Center when mom came to catch me there, and that day wasn't so nice because I really got my beatings really so hard that I couldn't even forget up to now. I still remember it, but I wish her happy Mother's Day.
Back in the SHS, my mom visited on a visiting day, and I was nowhere to be found. Eventually, I was, out of the school doing my own thing. So she left the school, and about Monday I showed up and there she was. So you could imagine how the experience was.
Mistakenly, I took a rubber tie and then I gave it on the eyes. So I didn't know when I stretched it. By the time I realized it hit her eye, and then she woke up. That day I really felt bad for myself. And that was a day I'll never forget in my life.
We're kids, and we're doing this mother and father thing, mom and papa, that sort of thing, That was the worst thing that I did, that mommy beat me.
Oh, I stole her money and used it to buy toffee. That made her beat me. But I made her so rest in peace.
All right, so before we get on to Facebook, I'm going to ask you the same question. What was that one thing you did?
I think I didn't do my homework. and then I forged a signature, her signature.
No!
Yeah, in the diary.
You did that?
I did that. Maybe, no, yes, I did that. But
really?
Yes, because I didn't do my homework, and I was like, okay, the teachers are going to shout at me, and I forged her signature, and then she was like, but this is not my signature, and then she was really upset. She was really upset. And you?
Well, mine, I wouldn't call mine a punishment,
yeah,
but it was a reaction.
Uh-huh.
So I woke up in the middle of the night. I crawled to the hall.
Yeah.
It was a what we call chamber and hall.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we were on there, and I crawled to the hall. I opened the food. We had some banku. It was back then in '83 thereabouts.
Okay.
It was farming in Ghana,
Uh-huh.
and I took, there was corn. It was banku made of yellow corn.
Okay.
I took a bit of it and dipped it into the soup, and I was eating.
And this is late at night, right?
Late at night.
Okay.
And my mom chanced on me. You're thinking I'm going to get some beating, right?
Yeah.
She sat me down and served me some food.
Oh, hectic.
It changed my life. It has changed
hectic.
my life. Yeah.
You wouldn't expect that.
Yeah, you wouldn't expect that.
Okay.
Not at all. Okay, let's get on to Facebook. For Ima says, uncountable from not washing my school uniform, not bathing, stealing meat from the soup. Ah, we all did. To going to watch movies during school hours. She beats me like, and there's no tomorrow. James Abusanga says, the one thing I did that resulted in my mom beating me is when the confident trickster succeeded in deceiving me to spend all the money meant for our supper on a game with the promise of doubling it for me. Come and see beating. I was later taken to the hospital. It must have been bad then. Aaron Smith says, stealing meat from the soup some time ago led my mother to beat me, and I cried. Oh. Baya Jeremiah says, when I stoned a pregnant woman, I stoned a pregnant woman who passed by the house. The woman was badly hurt. I'm sorry the pregnant, I'm sorry for the pregnant one. I'm sorry pregnant woman, wherever you are, please find a place in your heart to forgive me.
Oh man, and Amit comes in to say that lying to her, went to Makaranta
Arabic school.
Yes, which I never did on that fateful day. She realized that when some 10 guys were sent to come pick me up, after which I was back from
my Kubolo things.
Games to say, she asked me whether I went to Makaranta, and I said yes. I don't come and she see beatings as if I killed someone. And Bra Kwame says, I stole my mom's money from her money box, which she was gathering to buy things for me for Christmas. But I never knew, and I stole the money, and in fact my mom beat me papa for about 45 minutes. Sure, the way I suffered, only God knows. And David Chuck says, I didn't sweep the compound. So when mom came, there was no time for explanation, yeah, than to receive my beating package. Oh wow, and Mark Paradise says, I stole meat from the soup.
Lots of people stole meat from soup.
I think we all did.
Enemy Priscilla said, I smelled mommy's food with my nose.
So she probably put her face in the pot.
Oh wow.
Hey, okay, and Valanya Katia says, I went to eat at the neighbor's house. Okay. All right, and Shani says, unwilling to attend school. And TJ says, bedwetting.
Oh.
That's cute. I mean, we all have done it some way or another.
All right, so that'll be it for joining us in Church. But it was great having you. Should I share with them your other name? We call you Mapitso Sebede.
Yes.
And then you're called Maps as well. But then there's another name.
What's the other name?
Should I tell?
Let's do it. Me, I don't fear.
Baby Tundra.
You know what? Let's stick to Maps. How about that? Let's stick to Maps. I think Maps is
so
good.
Aisha is not around, and you're sitting in for Aisha, and you happen to be
well mapped. Because I'm Maps.
Well mapped.
Because I'm Maps.
Well mapped. Okay, so thank you very much, Maps.
Thank you, Izzy.